Have you ever wondered how someone goes from Goldman Sachs to one of the most prestigious universities in the world? Today's guest turned down multiple offers to choose LSE, and her reason might surprise you. Plus, she's sharing insider secrets about landing dream jobs in London that most international students never discover.
Difficult decision to make because I was having a fairly comfortable life back home, through all of that, moved to a country like where I've never been before. Currently writing 5 essays, all due in 3 days on the same day.
Pursuing your master's means taking a break from industry for a year. What made you leave the security of having a full-time job to pursue your studies in LSE?
It was a difficult decision to make because I was having a fairly comfortable life back home. I had help for everything, but I had to uproot all of that, move to a country like where I've never been before. Then it's just everything seems much more difficult to move out and leave the industry for a year. But I think the choice I had to make is, will I come back to the industry with more knowledge and will I be able to bring something back with me after the masters? And I feel like if I wouldn't have gotten LSE, I would not have left. But the fact that I got into LSE and I got the program that I wanted, that's what made me realize that maybe this is the right time to quit my job, finish my masters, and then it'll always be there for me when I get back. But I think 1 year is not such a big deal, especially when you're really young.
Yeah, that's very true. I think it's a very good, it's kind of a gamble, but I like that you kind of stepped out and be like, hey, this is actually going to add value to me. And you kind of made that decision. So I was doing a little bit of digging and I found out that you're doing your MSc in Strategic Communications and Society. I'm very curious about what this is. So can you break down why this specific program is a game changer?
So a lot of people come to LSE to study media and communications. That's the most broad course you'll get there. That's to study theories and concepts within scholarship about media and communications. But strategic communication is much more niche. It goes directly into how does PR and branding and other very strategic ways of communicating with your audiences, how does that influence your brand's image? How does that influence your audience's perception of your brand? How do images and words and text that you use in any communication material, what role does that play and to what extent does it affect the outcome of your communication plan? And I think it just truly really focuses on the essence of communications, that you're there. You're trying to make your brand visible. You're trying to make your company stand out. And what goes behind that is strategic communications. And a lot of people now are realizing that branding and communication is not enough. You need strategic communication to understand your audience properly. You need to strategize. Everybody says strategize your communications plan. What does that actually mean? It means you need to break down who you're reaching out to, how you want them to perceive your brand, and what are the tools you'll use, I guess. So, and not many colleges are teaching this yet. So I think that's what made this course a game changer for me.
That's so interesting. And I love that it's such a specific niche that not a lot of people would have heard of before. And it's really good for brands to also kind of hire someone that has so much experience in such a niche field. And I found that very interesting. Was there a moment when you almost didn't apply? What changed your mind?
Yeah, this is a good question. Actually, amazing question. Because a few years ago, I think last year before I applied this year, I had applied to all these colleges and I was going for a master that I realized I did not really want to study that because I was just applying to stuff that I didn't even know I wanted to work in, in the field. So I think it was that the moment of doubt that I had that actually saved my life, because I would have spent a lot of money on a course that I did not want. And what made me not apply was talking to a lot of people in these colleges and figuring out the professors who taught in those colleges and seeing their research. And it really did not match with my interests. I think it's very important to make sure that the professors' interests match your interests. So that's the decision I made and did not apply. But then I found a course in LSE that just fit perfectly for the roles I was looking for in future. And I guess I ended up here.
It's actually such a strategic way of thinking about it as well. This is, now that you're doing strategic, I get it. I see where you're coming from. It's okay, this is what I want to be. And this kind of aligns with it. So that's very, I like how you kind of future-proofed the plan for yourself, which is something that I think a lot of students would benefit from doing as well. So I also saw that you made a few career changes, since you graduated, you were at Goldman and then you went to freelancing and then you went to MOSIP. how did all of these experiences kind of like prepare you for LSE?
One major thing that all the experiences in my work experience that have prepared me for LSE is like working with a random bunch of people who are so different from me, not only culturally, but like even with age and like with the schools that they come from. In Goldman, I used to work with like significantly older people. So what I learned there was like, I need to stand up like for myself. My voice needs to be heard. And I think that's the experience I brought to LSE, where like, if I have an opinion, I have to voice it out.
Yeah.
And with freelancing, I think the major thing you learn is like how to manage multiple projects at the same time, which is basically what LSE is. If I can be honest, I'm currently writing 5 essays, all due in 3 days on the same day at the same time. So I think managing like multiple things that are going on, not just time, but like how much effort you put into like the subject that matters to you. In freelancing terms, the client that matters. You just have to prioritize properly. I think that's what freelancing taught me. And most of like by far was my best work experience ever. It has shaped what I want my future to be. It is what pushed me into strategic communications. So I think what I take most of helped me, like my experience at most of helped with LSE is just like trusting the process. Just kind of like things did work out at Mosip and I did figure out a future, and like there were people to help me. I always knew I could ask for help. And knowing that at LSE you have a lot of help, you just have to like, you have help in terms of professors, your friends and everybody. You just need to ask for it. I guess there's just some life skills that I learned after like making so many career shifts.
Yeah. That's actually so good that you have like a good, how do I say it? Like you have like a good bundle of things that you've gathered. Like you went like an MNC, then you freelance, and you went to MOSIP, and it kind of all like shaped you into the person that you are today to be able to like handle LSE as well. Because LSE is an Ivy League school, like it is a big deal. And I really love that, like it's kind of like shaped that for you as well.